I think my camera setup is finally working. Can you guys hear me okay? Do I sound good? I know last time I was kind of quiet. Let me know in the chat if you hear me a-okay, if I sound good enough, loud enough. I'm checking myself out. Let's see. Quiet, let me know in. All right, I sound good on my phone. Hi, Kara. Hi, Dottie. So, Mason, I sound good. Mike, I sound good. Okay. Mike, I am not sure why Nightbot is yelling at you. I just started using Nightbot. I didn't even know it was going to work tonight. So I apologize. I don't know why it did that to you, and I can't really go and fuss with it right just yet. But please know that I have nothing against you, obviously, Mike, and I don't know why my Nightbot would be picking on you. I didn't see you do anything wrong, but technology, guys. Hi, Lisa Marie, Kara, Mason, Mike. Hello, everybody. I'm so happy you're here. Okay, let's see if my fancy camera setup works, shall we, guys? Are we ready for this? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, are we ready? So if I switch to this one, face, and then show you my over this fancy split cam so you can see me kind of in the corner as I draw, which I mean, you're really just going to see the top of my sweet and adorable head, but there you go. Welcome, welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. I'm so happy to see you. Happy Monday night. Welcome to Candy Hearts Art Live. I'm so sorry that I had to reschedule from last week. I burned out a little bit, guys. I was tired. I was tired as hell. And I had to take a break. So I did. I took a break and I thought about some things, and I'm back. So, how's your week been going? How was your weekend? Are you getting ready for the holidays? I'm starting to buy gifts. I don't do a lot of gift giving, but just because finances don't really allow. But I do enjoy giving a good gift and making a gift. So let me know in the chat. Are you making gifts? What's going on for you for the holidays? Are you in the US? I know Lisa Marie, I think you're in the, sorry, I'm looking over at the chat. I think you're in Canada, but for those of you in the US, are you doing Thanksgiving? Are you celebrating? Are you excited? I want to hear all about it. So, anyway, I love this that I can actually say hi to you guys and you can see me, because it felt weird to just go top down right away and show you my hands and not be able to actually talk to you and be like, hey, welcome, you know? So this is great. OBS Studios, thank you. Um, cool, cool, cool. We've got 7 in here now. That's great. I think it's a good time to start and get going. Um, yeah. I'm trying to think, is there anything else to update you guys on before I get started? Nope, took a week off. I made a lot of videos last month, guys. I went from like making 1 video a month, and I think I put up like 6 videos last month. 6? Was it 6? No, I went live twice. I did 2 drive-by lives, which are my shortened lives, like the short versions of my lives. And I did 2 regular videos. I did a tutorial video and a Halloween video. And unfortunately, those videos aren't performing as well as I would have liked. So I put a lot of work into last month's content, and I completely burned out. And I got to last Monday and I was just like, yeah, I don't think I can do this. I went for my friends who are, oh, hi, Barb. For my friends that go into Grandma Barb's, Grandma's Crochet Corners live, They know that I went live with Barb the Saturday before. I went this Saturday as well, but the Saturday before. And then Sunday, I taught a Zoom painting class. And then I got to Monday and I was like, I ran out of steam completely and I could not do my live. So I rescheduled for tonight. So here I am. And I'm so happy, so absolutely just thrilled and blessed and so happy to see you guys. Um, let's see. I just want to look at the chat real quick. So let's see. Let's see if Nightbot works. Grandma Barb, Nightbot just like got mean with Ancient Aliens Mike in here. I don't know what happened, but so far Nightbot has not popped up any of my actual stuff that I want Nightbot to do. But it thought that Mike was spamming me and it took care of that. So I guess thank you, Nightbot, but also could you please post my links? Thanks so much. Hi, Thomas, Target Prime Rib. Yes, Lisa, self-care is such an important thing, and it's so important to like check in and like do that, you know, and really understand, like step back, take a minute. And hi guys, sorry that this camera is sort of like in my face. I realize that's a little weird, but I need it there for when I start drawing. That's going to be the camera that shows you what I'm actually freaking doing. So yes, let's see. And what else did Lisa Marie say? You're so sweet. We just had our first snowfall. It's melted. We have had a few years of green Christmas. You have an amazing memory. Thank you. I've been told that. I'm in Colorado, and we actually had northern Colorado, and we actually had a few days last week that were 80 degrees, if you can believe it. So yeah, crazy, crazy times. But I'm enjoying it as well. Like I don't love the snow so much. I love it when I'm indoors and cozy, but not really when I have to go out and shovel or travel in it. So anyway, yeah, I'm so glad to see you all here. Let's actually get started. You didn't come just to see me yammer on. We're gonna do some art. We're gonna play with some markers. So what I got was, and let's switch to split cam. Here we go. What I got was so as you know, I did one of these before, and unfortunately, this came in a box from Amazon with a bunch of other stuff that I needed to access, so I couldn't do a proper unboxing. But you see, it's still in the cellophane. I haven't opened it. I've been holding on to these for like 2 or 3 weeks, and I have been wanting to play with them so badly, guys. But I waited and waited and waited so I could share them with my friends. So I'm so excited to do this. And if you remember, I think in October, definitely in October, I got my first set of Ohuhu markers, dual tip, brush and fine, and absolutely fell in love with them. And so, but I felt like the 48 set that I have was great, but there weren't enough lighter colors. There weren't enough pale colors. And I really wanted some lighter tones. So I saw that they make a pastel set and dug around in my pockets and some moths flew out and I found some money so that I could buy another set that I truly should not have purchased, but we're doing this together, guys. It's for all of us. I love a new art supply, but I most certainly don't need any more. So there we go. We have unboxed. We have another, or unbagged. We have another beautiful Ohuhu black bag. I really love this bag. Once again, love the little chameleon. You can see that if I hold it up, it says brush and fine. I don't really like chisel tip markers, and maybe I'm missing something there. Maybe, oh, I just saw in the chat. Hi, John. Welcome, welcome. I just got started clearly. But so these are the brush tip and the fine tip. I really don't like chisel tip, and I think that's just a personal preference, but I don't know if anybody in the comments, in the chat uses markers and you enjoy a chisel tip. Let me know. I think maybe just for my needs, I don't like a chisel tip. It's like a broader, exactly what it sounds like. It looks like a little chisel. I don't really like those. So I always opt for brush and fine. Also, please, everybody just once in checking in again, because we have 10 in here. Thank you so much, guys, for being here. I just want to check in again that my sound is okay, because I know that last live I was very quiet, but I think I fixed it this time. So I hope it's okay, because I'm not, my husband's not here to help me with the tech. So I don't know if I would be able to fix it without ruining everything. Okay. All right. I'm a bit silly, guys. I think you know this about me at this point. I'm a bit of a wackadoodle, so enjoy that. Enjoy that. I'm not going to apologize for it. I'm just going to tell you to enjoy. Here we are. Look, these definitely look paler than the other ones. I mean, obviously they're all I say paler pastel colors. 48 of them. I mean, really it's 47, and then you get, I think this is the blender. You get the blender, and unfortunately, I have to take my glasses off. Not that anyone cares. I don't know why I'm apologizing for this, but I think I look cuter with my glasses on. It's a vanity thing. I think I look cuter with my glasses on, so I always apologize when I have to take them off, but I can't see things close up. I won't be able to read any of the names. So yeah, this is just the colorless blender. So it's 47 in the colorless blender, and I have yet to really figure out how to use the colorless blender. I'm still learning how to use these markers and alcohol ink markers, and blending has not been working out for me so far. So anyway, we have opened this. Once again, just like with my last unboxing, we've got the swatching cards, which are wonderful, and I will use these privately, but I'm not going to swatch on these tonight because they're too small. If I swatch on these, look how far away they are. And again, I'm not good with OBS yet, so I don't know how to zoom in and zoom back out again. So these are tiny, and these are wonderful, and they're great because they actually have all the little, right next to the where you would swatch, it tells you what color it is. I'm not going to swatch like that tonight. I'm just going to do like I did last time and try every color just as I pull them out of the bag. And you guys can see how lush and beautiful they are. Again, just the Ohuhu book that comes in here, just a bunch of color information, I think other product information, trying to get me to buy more stuff that I don't need. So toss those over to the side. And again, I really appreciate this. I've been using this. It's a sheet, a plastic sheet that you put between your book, whatever you're coloring in, so that if it bleeds through, like let's say you're doing a coloring book and you don't want it to bleed through to the next page, this will protect your page. So I actually was using the official Ohuhu marker pad the other day, and this actually, there's no bleed through on this. Like if you actually look at something I've already done, so this is the previous swatching I did from last time. If you look on the other side, there's no bleed through. I actually drew on the other side. And these are just some things I've done recently. But what it'll do as well is protect the edges. So I didn't use it here when I was drawing that last one that had a lot of blue. So I have some blue on the edges because I went over the edges. But if I had adjusted this, it would have protected that. So these are really, really cool. And I think that's very thoughtful of Ohuhu to, and again, I love saying that name, Ohuhu, Ohuhu. I think that's really thoughtful of them to include that little sheet in there for that protection. Sorry, I'm in a good mood tonight, guys. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good. Oh, good. I just looked in the chat, and Nightbot is working, guys. Everything is working, guys. I can't believe it. Oh, yay. Hi, Patty Myers. Welcome in. Hello, everybody. Okay, it says we have 11 in here. That's a good number. I'm just going to start swatching, and we're going to start talking about these beautiful colors. I'm going to try to do like I did last time and keep it to the same colors, like do all the blues and then all the greens and whatnot. But I don't know. I don't know if you guys can see, but they're all very pastel. So it's kind of hard to tell which ones are blue, and sometimes some of them are in between. So yeah, anyway, I'm just yammering, guys, yammering away. All right, let's see. First one is Arctic Blue. Arctic Blue. Let's go this way this time. And we'll put those there. That's a good camera setup, right? Okay. All right, Arctic Blue. And I like to swatch with the brush tip. It's just nice. Ooh, oh yeah, yeah. I'm liking that. That's this is going to give me the lighter shades that I want. And I forgot to grab a bucket that I can put these in when I'm done swatching, so I don't put them back in the bag. So you're going to see me moving around the studio. But here's a little wire basket that I can put the markers in after I swatch. So that was Arctic Blue. This one is Frost. Ooh, I'm loving these names. I wonder, I haven't really seen yet. We'll see as we go along. If you guys remember, the last set had a lot of food names like caramel and banana cream, and people were getting hungry. So this is Frost. And again, you know, we're just having fun here, but this is not, if you're properly, if you want to properly swatch, you want to do like the cards and fill, you know, actually right next to it what the color is that you're swatching. I feel like that would take a really long time, and I plan on actually swatching all of these tonight and then doing I made a drawing like I did last time. I made a drawing and I'm going to color the drawing with these markers when I'm done. So I'm going to be here for as long as it takes to swatch all of these and color that drawing. You guys, if you hang here with me, that would be beautiful. If you can't stay the whole time, I completely understand. But you know, hang in for as long as you can. I love having you here. This is wonderful. Hello, Wicked Girl. What does Wicked Girl say? I like chisel tip. I can use it for large areas and the tip for finer lining, but I love all marker tips. LOL. I love pastels. Yeah, these are really fun so far. I'm having fun. I'm only 2 in, and I get what you're saying about the chisel tip. Absolutely. If I was trying to fill in a huge area, I think the chisel tip would be a lot more um, useful. Right now, I've been doing smaller illustrations and just little cutesy stuff with my markers, so I haven't really needed to fill in a lot of big area. But I was just doing a drawing the other day. Actually, here's ADD, my ADD brain. I'll show you my drawing that I did the other day. I was just doing this. And when I was filling in the sky, I was like, man, I think the chisel tip maybe would have been helpful for that. It's a little fox. And I called it Rest because I was resting and I needed a good rest. So that was it's funny because I made I said I was going to just draw in this book and never show it to anybody. This was just going to be my book, but there I have showed it to all of you. Enjoy. We're breaking rules every day. That's what art is all about, guys. I don't know what I'm talking about tonight, guys. Hopefully you're here for it because I'm feeling a little bit punchy tonight. I'm not drunk. No, I'm sober. This one is called Porcelain Blue. Oh yeah, these are all great. Oh my God, this is exactly what I needed. Exactly what I needed, because the other ones are juicy and wonderful, but sometimes you need these like lighter in between colors. Just a little bit softer in order to build more depth. You know, you go in as light as you can, and then you start building up the darker tones, and you get a lot of depth, and you can make really pretty. I've seen some people do some really beautiful landscapes with markers, like really surprising stuff that I never thought to do. So I wanted to start getting into that, but in order to do that, I feel like I need to have some lighter colors. So I'm so excited about these. Okay, pale sky blue. Now I think the other set actually has sky blue. I might be wrong about that though. Don't quote me. Don't quote me. Hopefully you guys are seeing these okay. Someday I'll figure out how to use OBS enough that that I can zoom in and zoom out without being worried that the whole computer's going to blow up. But you know what, guys? I'm from the 80s, but came of age in the 90s, and you know, when computers first became a household thing, and there was a time where you could press one button and the whole computer would just not work for everybody in the house anymore, and you would just screw everything up, and your parents would yell at you and everybody would hate you. I'm opening up wounds here, old internet wounds, old computer wounds. So anyway, I'm still from this time of like, I feel like I can troubleshoot most things on a computer now, but I still have this fear of like the blue screen of death, where like there's just going to be a point of no return, and I won't recover from it, and can't do that. Can't do that right now. We're live. We're live, and it's working. All right, guys. This one is called Smoke Blue. As you see me pulling it away because my eyes don't want to focus on these tiny little letters. All right, Smoke Blue. Very tiny little letters. Ooh, that's a bit darker, but I like that. They go down darker. So when they first go down on the paper, they're a lot darker, and then as they dry, they lighten, which is interesting because that's opposite to acrylic, which is what I normally work in. Acrylic goes down, uh, usually looks lighter and gets darker as it dries. I think. Is that how it works? Yeah. Look at me. I'm an expert. I'm an expert. I'm an artist. Okay. Robin's Egg Blue. I never claimed to be an expert. I'm still learning. I'm self-taught, and I'm definitely still learning. Ooh, that's pretty. It's funny because you definitely see the difference, but they're also very similar in I don't really know how else to describe that, but they're very similar to me. Okay, that was Robin Eggs Blue. 1, 2, 3. There were six of these beautiful markers. Now we've got Cornflower Blue. Sorry, I'm not really showing them to you guys, and that's not focusing. Come on, camera, focus, focus. There you go. No. Anyway, okay, Cornflower Blue. I'll stop playing with my camera. Cornflower Blue looks more like it's more towards the purple side a bit, I think. Yeah, it does. Looks a bit more purplish to me. Oh, Nightbot is doing his job. Hello, Midnight Vince. Hi, thank you so much for stopping in. Oh, you guys, all of Grandma's crew always showing me love. I love you guys so much. Such a great community. What a gift to have stumbled upon Grandma Barb. I know that you all can agree. Wholeheartedly. Let's go straight into the greens. Why not? Let's go straight into the greens. We've got, well, actually, this is still called blue. So it's more towards the green side. I don't know if you can see that cap. It looks more green, but it's called Sea Glass Blue. But we're definitely getting more towards the blue. So where that one was Cornflower Blue and it looked more towards the purple, this is more towards the green is what I meant to say. And this one's called Pale Moss, and it really is. Like, when you see that tip, it almost just looks white, doesn't it? Okay, Pale Moss. You know what's funny, guys, is I'm so giggly and vibrant tonight. And I don't know if I should even tell this story, but like, you know when you have to set a boundary with somebody who's not really respecting you? I had to set a boundary like 10 minutes before I came on here. I have, and he won't be watching this. This is Spring Green. There's an older gentleman that I became friends with on Instagram, Spring Green. And he's a really nice guy and a great woodworker. But he sends me, he's a bit older than me. He's about 25 years older than me, 20 years older than me. And he just sends me really weird reels all day, shorts on YouTube is what they're called, but the little short videos. This one is called Pale Green, very pale. And he's been sending me a lot of weird stuff that I just don't want to see. And I have asked him not to, and he keeps sending it. And then the past few days when I, thumbs down whatever he sends me, he tells me, well, I think your funny bone is broken. And he's a woodworker. So he's like, I'll carve you a new one out of wood. And he's just trying to be funny, and he's just a nice guy, but he's sending, I think he's just a lonely guy. Seafoam green. I love seafoam. Look at that. Beautiful. But he just wasn't respecting that I didn't want to see certain things. And I got to the point where I didn't want to open messages from him, but he keeps sending messages like at least 10 to 15 times a day. He'll send me a bunch of reels, just stuff that I would never click on myself. So I asked him several times to respect that I didn't want to see this stuff. And today he sent another message right before I came on live saying that he didn't think I had a sense of humor, basically, by saying I needed a new funny bone. Ooh, lemon chiffon. Lemon chiffon. Yummy. Um, and I'm thinking of chiffon like a dessert chiffon. And unfortunately, I had to block him. I had to tell him, that I had really enjoyed trying to build a friendship with him, but he wasn't respecting me at this point, and I had to block him. And that's a big deal for me, guys. I have a hard time setting boundaries. I consider myself a very nice person, and I give everybody the benefit of the doubt. And I know that we're all just having our own experience here, and that we're trying our best. And I would never want I have felt very lonely in my life and had depression and anxiety, and I don't want anybody to ever feel that way. And I don't ever want to be the cause of anybody feeling that way. But I refuse to be disrespected. I'm 44 years old, and I don't take any shit anymore. So I had to block this guy, and I just find it surprising because that's how much at peace I am with things now. And I don't even know if this is a story I should tell, or if this is interesting to you guys, but I know Grandma Barb tells some crazy stories, so I'm sure you guys are here for this, but I have to protect my peace. And if somebody can't respect that, then I have to let them go. And I gave him many chances, and I told him how I felt. And so I had to block him before I came on here tonight. So it's just surprising that I feel this light and vibrant and happy. I'm not happy that I had to do that, but I know who I am, and I know that I wasn't wrong to do that. It's not wrong to protect your peace. It's not wrong to set a boundary. It's wrong when somebody makes you feel like they don't have to respect a very reasonable boundary. Okay, enough of that heavy stuff, right? Again, don't know why I told that story, but there you go. It's out there. It's out there in the world now. Pale lemon yellow. So the yellows are really interesting because when they first go down, just like all of them, they go down kind of, I'm going to be honest with you, they look kind of ugly. The pale ones anyway. Like the other set has a banana cream, and the banana cream looks real ugly when it goes down. It does not appeal to me at all. But after it dries, it looks a lot nicer. So, yeah, that's how I feel about those. Golden champagne. Ooh. Ooh, thank you, Mason. I knew that you would appreciate that. Mason doesn't take no crap from no one. I know it. I was like, what would Mason do? Golden champagne. Let me take a moment and hold these up closer because you guys aren't really getting to see exactly. So this is what we've done so far. These are beautiful. The golden champagne, yeah, I definitely see champagne in that color, don't you? And see, now that this yellow is starting to dry, it looks a lot nicer. So now we're moving on to, this one's called cream. So these ones definitely have food names that'll make you hungry. Not all of them, though. They're not all food names, which is probably a good thing. This one's called pale cream, which is interesting. I mean, kind of like a very light, almost orangey brown, I would say. I don't know that I would call that cream, this one there. But we'll give it a second to dry and see if it lightens up a bit. I would almost call the one next to it more cream-like than this one. And I forget what that one was. Oh, that was the golden champagne. The golden champagne looked a lot darker a minute ago. Do you see how much they lighten? I don't know if you guys are seeing that in real time. In real time. It says we've got 13 in here, and I want to thank each and every one of you for being here and supporting me. I just love all of you. This is wonderful. I love hanging out with you guys. This one is called Pale Celery. I don't know if that name makes me hungry so much, but I've never really, that's not true. I've craved celery. I've craved celery before, but more as like a texture thing, like crunch, crunch, crunch. Um, or, you know, as a vehicle for a dip or for some cream cheese. Cream cheese on celery is my jam, but not really into celery too much these days, as my carnivore friends in the audience will understand. Mostly meat products these days, mostly animal products. All right, so that was pale celery. We're moving towards, I think that was most of the greens. Let's see. I'm trying to see if there's any other green in here that I'm missing. Or yellow. Now we're moving into the yellows. What am I saying? We're not in greens anymore. We're in yellows. Yep. All right. Milk tea. Oh, milk tea. Very pale brown, like a beige. Milk tea. Do you guys like milk tea? Like a boba? Um, I don't do a lot of sugar these days. I used to enjoy a milk tea here and there. There wasn't, I feel like people are crazy for these things these days. And I was never that into it, but I get it. I get why they're so popular. I mean, they're sweet, they're comforting, you know, they have caffeine in them. What's not to love, right? I mean, all the good stuff. All right. Raw cashew, which also used to be a snack that I enjoyed quite a bit. Raw cashew. There we go. We have a little bit of focus there. I don't know, it might be a little bright in here. Looks like I'm a little bit washed out. Raw cashew. Yeah, all of these, that's a very interesting thing about the pastel ones, is they go down, when they first go down, they kind of don't look that pretty. They don't look that pretty. They look kind of dark. And that's what I keep learning with these when I make art with these. For those of you that see my shorts and my reels with my notes for my husband, I use these markers. And when I first start coloring in whatever I'm doing, and when I color in my drawing later, I'll have a moment where I'm just like, oh gosh, this doesn't look good. And then it starts to dry and it doesn't look all wet anymore. And I'm like, oh no, there it is. It's fine. We're fine. Everything's fine. Coral sand. Coral sand. And I'm sorry, I know I'm not holding every single one up. It's hard. It's hard to find a balance between chatting and showing. I'm doing my best, and that's fine. Well, that's a nice one. I think once that's all dried, that's gonna be a nice beachy. If I ever wanted to do like a sandscape, yeah, a beachscape with these, this would be the coral sands would be a nice one to do the sand with, especially the darker parts of the sand. Okay. Moving right along. Khaki beige. Shall we do the khaki beige? Well, I already pulled it out. We're doing it. Khaki beige. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I am happy with this purchase once again. Always doing the sing song, guys. Always got to sing a little bit. Sandy beige. Was the last one? Did I just say beige for the last one too? Khaki beige, sandy beige. We got some beiges in the house. All right. Sandy beige. Thank you so much, Wicked Girl. And John. Yeah, it's a trip. It's a trip to learn how to set boundaries as an adult. And, you know, as somebody who I really feel like I used to just let people walk all over me a lot and just couldn't stand up and say, hey, no, that's not cool. I wanted so much to be loved that I would sort of accept any kind of treatment as long as somebody said that they wanted to be around me. And no more of that. No more of that, because I don't know why I'm having such a hard time picking one. Ash rose. no more of that, because no more. I mean, that doesn't serve. That doesn't serve my spirit. It doesn't serve my heart. It's not going to help me, you know, build the life that I want, to let people who, you know, I don't think that a lot of these people who have done these things are evil. I just think that they have their own stuff to work through. And I can't always be the person that helps people work through stuff. You know, sometimes you can't drag people kicking and screaming through to healing. They have to get there on their own. And as much as I want to be helpful and I want to help people and I want to help people feel better, because I started to feel better and I want people to know that it's possible, I also can't sacrifice my peace to help others. You know, I have to find a balance there. Icy lavender. They're almost, I feel like they're all looking quite similar when I hold them up, but there you go. So icy lavender. But anywho, anybody got any good weekend stories? Anybody do anything fun? I'll wait to see if anybody has anything that they want to chat about in the chat, and then I'll tell you some of the stuff I did this weekend. I'm pretty normal and basic, guys, and I don't like to say boring, but I'm pretty boring. I don't I don't drink. I don't eat a lot of sugar. I don't like to, my husband and I have been going to a few concerts recently and movies, but that's about it. And we had many, many, many years where we didn't do any of that stuff. And then suddenly we started, we were like, oh, we could go to this show. We could go to that show. We don't have a lot of extra money to do things like that anyway, but it's nice to be able to, have a night out here and there. But I like a good night at home. I like being home. All right, light lavender. I don't know if I already showed you that, but that's what it is, light lavender. Did I already swatch this? Uh-oh. Am I chatting too much and I didn't pay it? No. The other one was icy lavender. This is what it's messing with my brain. It's messing with my brain because it also has lavender in the title. So this one is light lavender. The last one was icy lavender. I want to see, is there even a difference here? Is there even a difference here, guys? Do you see a difference between these two colors? These are the two markers. I think they look almost exactly alike. I realize it's very, very bright in here, so it's kind of hard to tell, but those look almost exactly the same, the cap. And then if I show you the actual swatch, very, very similar. This one is slightly warmer. This one is cooler, which is interesting because it was the first one that was icy. So you would think that one would be that one, because icy would make you think cooler, right? I don't know. Just words about art. Another lavender one. Sorry. It was probably kind of loud. Another lavender one. Lavender Wisp. And I swear, I know this one looks a bit different from the other two. I don't know. In my camera, they look, on my screen, they look all the same. I don't know if for you guys, they're showing up any differently, but did I pick up yeah, Lavender Wisp. Oh, this one's definitely more purpley than the others. The other ones present a bit more gray. This one's more purpley. Yeah, slightest difference, Mason. Exactly. Ever so slight. Just enough of a difference that an artist would notice, but I don't think anybody else would really care. you know? I'm gonna go into the grays, I think. Well, let's keep going with purple, I guess. We've got Faded Lilac. And this is, I love these lavender and flower names. I love lilacs. Lilacs are some of my favorite flowers. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that looks like lilac for sure. That's what the marker looks like. And then hold it up. That looks like lilac to me. As it dries, it starts to look a bit better. Again, I can't really tell if my camera is giving you guys a good good sense of these colors. I hope so. I hope so. We're having fun. We're not worrying about it. Pale purple. Pale purple. Oh, yeah. This is great because in the other set, there's a purple and it's quite dark. And I was wanting to use it, but I wanted to build up the color. And I was like, I don't have any lighter purple to sort of build on. And this is exactly what I needed. I love when that happens. When, you know, sometimes you buy something and you think, you know, is this going to be the tool that I need, you know, especially with art. Like I'll buy something else and I'll just go, is this what I actually need to make this work for me? And you keep having to buy other things or go through other stuff. And it's very disappointing. So it's nice to buy a set of markers, you know, buy a second set and go, this is exactly what I needed it to be, you know? All right, let's see. We've got lavender fog, another lavender, guys. They are loving the purples and the lavenders in here. Another lavender. Beautiful. Well, that's a lot of purples to choose from. Here we go. Thistle. Thistle. Oh, I love that one. It's kind of a more a purple, but more to the pink side. Right there is thistle. Really nice. Grandma says she's not seeing my Amazon wish list, Candy, because I didn't put my Amazon wish list in my description. I should, but I didn't because I don't really have much going on there. I haven't really added much to mine yet, but I should make one, especially with art supplies. I'm running low on certain things. I'm always running low on paint. So you're right, Grandma. You're right. Thanks for staying on it and keeping me on my toes. You know what? I don't like to pick one out and then put it back. But part of me wants to stay with the color scheme, but it doesn't matter. Let's go cashmere gray. Cashmere gray. Beautiful. Cloud gray. Lovely. So this weekend, well, my husband works at Hobby Lobby. He's a framer, full time at Hobby Lobby, and so his days off are Sundays because Hobby Lobby is always closed on Sunday. Abalone gray, abalone, like the shell, isn't that a shellfish? So he's always off on Sundays, and then about 6 months ago, he started getting Mondays off too. So he actually gets a 2-day weekend, which is very rare in retail. So Sunday and Mondays is our weekend. So he's off today, but he has a recurring gig that he goes to. So he's there now. He's a tarot reader and he's reading tarot at a local sober bar. This is oyster gray. And I find that very interesting because the last one was abalone. So we're doing a shellfish, tongue twisters here, guys. A shellfish theme. So oyster gray. So you know, he typically works Saturdays. So Saturdays are kind of like a regular day for us. And then Sunday we go for a nice long walk together with the dog. We went to a park called Seven Lakes, which is on Boyd Lake here in Loveland, Colorado. This one is just called straight up gray. And we went for a 3.5-mile walk there. Beautiful day. It was like, I think it was like 70 degrees. It was gorgeous. And then we went to Walmart because I needed to go get more. I feed the squirrels on my patio and I needed to go get more peanuts. But Walmart was out of unsalted peanuts. They only had one bag. And I need 6 bags, guys. I need 6 bags every time I go because the darn blue jays discovered that I was feeding the squirrels and now they clean me out. And I have seen these freaking blue jays cram one down their throats and like hold it in the throat and then hold one in the beak. And they call all the friends and they come like a gang of blue jays and they descend and they clean me out. And then the squirrels come later and they kind of, the squirrels come right up to my patio window and they're like, hey, are we still friends? What happened to the snacks? And I'm like, the birds cleaned me out, guys. I gotta refill the areas that I usually throw peanuts for them. And I have to put them in strategic areas because my little dog Mochi, will go out there and eat them, shells and all, because he's completely food driven and wacky. Okay, Wispy Gray. He loves a snack. He loves peanuts like his mama. I'm into peanuts too. Wispy Gray. So we went to Walmart. Walmart only had 1 bag of peanuts. I was so upset, but I bought the 1 bag and I was like, well, we'll make it do. We'll make do because we still had some at home. And I was like, I'll get some more. So later on, but this will carry us through the week. And then we went to Marshall's and we did a little bit of Christmas shopping and I got some more candles because my one big splurge is I like a good candle and I like this time of year the scents. Like I like the cinnamon and the Christmas tree scents and the autumn scents. I'm not really into pumpkin spice, but I will take a pumpkin spice candle every now and again. And I love all the scents that come out this time of year. So I went and splurged on some candles and that was really nice. I love Marshalls. I don't know, guys, if you're into Marshalls, but I love Marshalls. Probably because I can afford things at Marshalls, but not at regular stores. Anyway, Ballet Pink. Ballet Pink. So and then after that, we went home. We left the dog at home. So we take the dog for the walk. We take the dog to the stores with us. He goes in a little stroller. He's an 11-pound dog and he goes in the little stroller. And everybody loves him and they stop us constantly. And children come screaming, coming over to him because they're just like, they think he's a little stuffed animal. And it's so much fun and Mochi loves it. He loves people. He is just, if I say, let's go to the store, if I say it too loud right now, he'll jump up. He's asleep next to me. And yeah, he absolutely adores. So going to Marshall's. So we went to Marshall's. This is lychee juice. I think that's how you say it. Lychee? I don't know. Either way. One of those ways I know is right. It's kind of like a pale peachy pink. Sorry, want the brush side. So we had a great time and then we brought the dog home because we were going to go to a movie and obviously we can't bring the dog to the movie. This is Peachy Blush. So we went to a movie last night called The Boy and the Heron. And it's a Hayao Miyazaki movie, a Studio Ghibli movie. If you guys are familiar with these movies, they are Japanese animation. So you might be familiar with the movie Spirited Away, which was very famous and was distributed by Disney for a while. Kiki's Delivery Service is another popular one. Ponyo, Howl's Moving Castle. You might have heard of these. If not, it's fine. No big deal. But I'm a big fan of these movies. So is my husband. And sorry, these are falling all over the place. Studio Ghibli has been re-releasing Cantaloupe. Studio Ghibli has been re-releasing a lot of their films this year. So we've gone to a few of them. Oh, that looks exactly like Cantaloupe. Yeah. Once that dries, that's going to look exactly like Cantaloupe. We've been going to a few of the re-releases this year. It's a little dark now because it's not quite dry, but yeah, that's going to look just like Cantaloupe. We've been going to some of the re-releases this year and really enjoying it. And the one that we saw last night, The Boy and the Heron, that actually came out only 2 years ago. So some of the other movies we've seen are like 20 years old. Cameo Rose. Some of the other movies are about 20 years old, and went to see those, but this one was only 2 years old. We just haven't had a chance to watch it yet. And it was so beautiful. I mean, these movies are just gorgeous, lush movies. The artwork in them is absolutely breathtaking. Just I can't say enough good things about it, but this one was wild. I mean, it was like a crazy dream, this movie, and really beautiful. And that's the only way I can describe it. It's about a young boy. This one is pale cherry pink. It's about a young boy who lives in Tokyo and he loses his mother. She dies in a fire. And it's about how he deals with the grief of that and overcomes that. But it's so much more complicated than that because he enters this sort of dreamscape of a world in order to process that and that loss, and everything that happens is just it is indescribable. You would have to watch it to really understand it. That is the most simplistic way to describe that, is um he overcomes his grief, but of losing his mother. But there's so much more to it than that, and it's just impossible to describe. But suffice to say that it was a gorgeous movie, and we had a wonderful time. It was so great. It was a wonderful, wonderful Sunday. This is called Cherry Taupe. Taupe, Cherry Taupe. Yeah. So that was my Sunday. Beautiful day. And today has been kind of a slower day. I made a pork roast in the crock pot yesterday that we didn't eat yesterday. We were going to have it today. So I made that and some homemade sugar-free barbecue sauce. Pink lemonade is the name of this one. And we had that for our meal. And that was really, really yummy. But I get my groceries delivered. I order my groceries from King Soopers, which is our Kroger affiliate out here. And they don't give you the ability to say like exactly what size roast you would like, or even approximately what size. So sometimes I put in, this is just the colorless blender, so I'm going to put it down there. Sometimes I put in a pork shoulder roast, and you get 6 pounds, and sometimes you get 10 pounds. And I got 9.5 pound roast the other day. So in our order. So we're going to be eating pork for a while. I easily could have fed 12 people with this roast. It was huge, and delicious. But in the crock pot, oof, so good. I know. I think Barb made one. Grandma Barb made one in the crock pot recently, I think, and it was really looked delicious, and mine was delicious as well. This one is called Pink Satin. Pink Satin. So I am, like I've said before, oh, that's a pretty pink. I am animal based mostly. I still eat a few vegetables, some nuts, and a few other things that are outside of carnivore and outside of animal based. Why was I starting to talk about that? No, I lost my train of thought. Sorry, brain fart. Oh, I think because I was saying, because I do sauces. So I made a barbecue sauce for this one, but I used a sugar-free ketchup as the base. So it's a stevia sweetened ketchup, which I know stevia carnivores don't love stevia, but it is what it is. I like a sauce. So, but I'm also Puerto Rican. I'm half Puerto Rican, so I make a nice sofrito. I don't know if you guys know what sofrito is, but it's a blend of like bell peppers, sweet peppers, cilantro, or culantro, which is harder to find, onions, garlic, and some spices and other things. And it's just a nice base for like flavor base for soups. It's great for marinating meats. So roast pork, for Panamanians known as pernil, is like a signature dish. So this was very reminiscent of that because I made my own my own sofrito. I made my own sofrito and it was delicious. And it kind of reminded me of my abuela's cooking, which always brings a little tear to my eye because I miss her. But then I put barbecue sauce all over it and she would not have liked that. She would have been like, why did you put barbecue sauce on it? It was fine with just the sofrito and the spices. But we like barbecue sauce too. Okay, I'm yammering on. Okay, Rosy Lilac. Rosy Lilac. Ooh, running out of space. Let's just go right here. That's fine. Plenty of space. Rosy Lilac. Two more left, guys. Two more. Light Orchid. Light Orchid. These are the pinks, which I'm excited about because the other set just has one pink and it's very bright. And I feel like pink is very easily overdone. I like that other pink, but sometimes it's too much. Sometimes you want a lighter pink. So I'm very happy to have all these lighter colors. And this one's called, the last one is called Pink Pearl. Mason, great. I'm glad to see I'm in good company. Sugar-free sauces. I feel like I certainly didn't get to 360 pounds by eating whole foods, you know? When I was at my heaviest, I was 360 pounds, and I didn't get there because I was eating a lot of fruits and vegetables and meat. I got there because I was eating a lot of processed stuff. So I look at it this way that I will, try to do 75 to 85% of animal based and, very healthy, and if I toss in some fruits and vegetables and some sauces here and there, that's okay because that's still a lot better than a pack of donuts and a supersized meal from McDonald's. So anyway, thank you so much for the 7 of you that are still in here. I think it's actually 6 because I'm running my stream on my other account. So the 6 of you that are still here, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. I have finished swatching. That's all the beautiful, all 47. Obviously 48 is the colorless blender. That's all 47 of the beautiful Ohuhu Honolulu Bee alcohol ink markers, Pastel Edition. So I'm really excited to make some art with these. So I'm going to put them back into the bag because it helps them stand up a bit better than when they're in the basket, they're kind of all fallen over. And I'm going to, I should have done that. Earlier I said, get ready. And I had everything all set up perfectly. Everything absolutely perfect, but I didn't pull out the drawing that I made. So I'm going to grab that drawing now. I'm going to move this basket to over here. And you guys can still hear me because I'm all mic'd up. And here is my drawing, which I'm sure you cannot see this. I wonder if I can adjust the lighting a little bit so it's not quite so bright. Give me just a second. Let's see if this helps a little. It might help a little bit. I don't know that we need all those lights. Is it too dark now? I think that's okay. So I don't know if Patty Myers is still listening. If you're listening, Patty, or if you're watching as well, you gave me the idea for this drawing. I'm going to hold it up closer so you guys can see. Hopefully you can see it. It's a little cat in overalls and a hat. It's a little gardener or farmer cat. And he's holding a pot with a little budding flower. And he's saying, "You're my best bud." So the other day, my friend Patty Myers gave me this idea. She said, would you ever draw flowers and would you make a flower hugging a bud and say, "You're my best bud"? So I didn't quite do that, but I wanted to make a cat because Patty loves cats as well. She loves dogs too, but she loves cats as well. And she can't have a cat right now or a dog. She has a grand dog that she walks regularly for her son and daughter-in-law. And but she can't have an animal of her own right now. So I thought I would do this for my buddy Patty, a little cat holding a potted flower that is just about to bloom. And he's saying, "You're my best bud." So I'm going to use these new markers that I got today to color this in. And if you're still, sorry, I have to get up and get a piece of paper that I can test my markers on first. That's always a good practice. You always want to, when you grab a marker, test it first and just make sure that you grab the right color. Because I've done that before where I'm like completely grabbed, purple, and I meant to grab orange and totally screwed something up. So this one's for you, Patty Myers. Without further ado, let's get started. What I'm doing here is kneading my kneaded eraser. I think I've showed you guys this before. It almost looks like silly putty. It's a little gray mush, but it is an eraser. And the reason I'm doing this is I'm trying to warm it up and get it into sort of a sausage shape, because I'm going to roll it over my drawing to lighten the lines. I want to do this because sometimes, and this is a good thing to remember if you're using alcohol marker, sometimes if you have pencil underneath your alcohol marker, the pencil will smudge because of the alcohol. Or I don't know if it's because it's any fluid that's going over it, but it'll smudge. And I have screwed up a few pictures doing that. So I like to make a drawing and then roll my kneaded eraser over it a bit and not lose all of my lines. It gets very exciting. It gets very exciting to roll over, but it lightens it quite a bit. And then you just want to leave the faintest lines so that you know where to put so I know where to put my marker, but so that the marker doesn't lift up any of this pencil lead. Graphite really is what it is, right? Pencil lead is graphite these days. It's not true lead. All right, let's hope I did not lighten that too much. And I can still see what the heck I'm doing. All right. Oakley dokley, guys. Let's see. How's everyone doing? It says there's 6 of us here. So everyone's quietly enjoying. I'm so glad to have you here with me. Not quite sure how long I've been on so far, about an hour, so that's not too bad. Okay, I don't need to keep fussing with that. Trying to close the little container for the eraser, but not important at all. Okay, so we're gonna start with I think I want to make this cat an orange cat. I used to have an orange kitty. Her name was Lulu, and she passed away, I think about 5 years ago now, right after COVID. I love all my babies, but she was a special little girl. So I'm going to make this one orange. I'm trying to remember, and this is where it would have been great if I could have actually sat down and swatched all of these with the names, because I'm looking at, was that one cream? Yes, I think that was cream. I think I want Lulu to be cream. And then, what was that one? I think that one was coral sand. So I'm going to do cream, I think, for her base, and then the coral sand. Remember when I was saying the cream kind of looked orangey to me? I think I'm going to do that for the cat. So we're going to take a deep breath. And take another deep breath. And we're just going to trust the process and we're just going to do it. This is kind of a slightly more complicated drawing than I've done before on live. And just having a slight moment of worrying. Oh, and didn't I just say test them before? Let me test. Just having a slight moment where I'm saying to myself, it's whatever happens here is totally fine. I don't have to worry about if it doesn't come out, it doesn't come out. If I make a mistake, that'll be fine too. And this is, you got to check in with yourself sometimes, right, guys? You got to just say, hey, what are we doing here? All right, I'm going to go right into the face here. And I just like to go in, and I'm sure that there are marker artists out there that would be like, what is she doing? Why does she do it that way? I just like to put the outline in first to let me know where I'm going. I'm actually going to lighten the face a little bit more. I made a picture the other day, and I went into the face. I had drawn the face with pencil ahead of time, and I went in and filled in the marker on the face, and it smudged so horribly that I had to scrap the whole thing. So let me just erase that a little bit more. Okay, so that's the first part. So I'm sure that there are some people that would be like, no, you don't want to outline it. I don't know why, but everybody's got weird rules about everything. And now, but then that's why I like people like Bob Ross and Cinnamon Cooney, because they say, you know what, however you get it done, it's fine. There's no real rules in art as long as you make what you love and it comes out looking the way you wanted it to look. And sometimes it doesn't come out looking the way you wanted it to look. Sometimes the paint is going to act the way it wants to act. And it's a really hard lesson to learn with a lot of things. That's a really hard lesson to learn in life, is to sometimes just let things be what they are. I don't know about you guys, but I struggle with that every day. I'm constantly, well, why isn't this like this? And I wish this was like this. And I wish I had this. And wish, But acceptance for what is actually brings a lot of peace. And that doesn't mean that we should accept horrible treatment or, suffering. But having acceptance that suffering exists, and then doing our best to help those in need and those that are suffering. I think that's important too. There's important distinctions to make. And I don't really know what I'm talking about half the time, guys. I just talk. I have a lot of big ideas and big feelings about things, but at the end of the day, I want people to feel good. I want people to understand that they have a right to feel good and that they can feel good. I think I went through a long period. Like I said, I'm 44. It took me until I was in my late 30s to realize that I could be happy, and that it was okay to be happy. As crazy as that sounds, just understanding that it's all right to be happy. We have I think it's very normalized in our society to be miserable and to complain a lot and to find fault in everything. And yeah, guys, there's a lot to find fault in. There's a lot of shady and crappy stuff going on, but you know what? There's so much beautiful, gorgeous, wonderful stuff going on too. And we lose sight of that, We lose sight of that when we look only at the bad that's going on. I said to a friend the other day, if you go out and it's a beautiful day and you're walking down the street and you're smelling flowers, and let's say you're an animal lover and a dog that you really love comes up and licks you on the hand, and you see children playing, and a little old woman gardening in her garden, and it's a beautiful day, and the birds are chirping, and everything just seems gorgeous, right? and you're just so happy to be alive. And then imagine somebody comes up and punches you in the face on that day. Are you going to remember all of the beautiful things you saw? Are you going to remember how happy you were and how beautiful a day you were having? Or are you going to remember that somebody hurt you? And that's the nature of like how we deal with things. Do you know what I mean? I'm trying to tell a story. I don't know, maybe this is stupid stuff to talk about, but like our bodies, our minds hold on to the bad stuff more than the good. I can remember many days when I was younger throughout my life where many good things happened, but then one asshole, one dingus ruined my day. My whole day was ruined from one guy. But did I ever go back and remember everything that happened that day that was good? Or just remember that one guy that ruined my day, or one girl, one person, that one event? Did I go back and remember I had a beautiful meal, that I wore clothes on my body, that I was okay, that I made it to and from my destination safely? Did I remember all of the good stuff, or did I only remember the bad stuff? And granted, guys, getting punched in the face would be really bad. I'm not saying that shouldn't ruin your day. I mean, that should be impactful. You should be like, what the hell just happened? If that was to happen. But not lose sight that the day was beautiful until then. The day was still beautiful and everything around that was still beautiful. I hope that makes sense. I don't know what I'm really talking about. Let me look in the chat real quick. Helix, thank you so much for stopping by, sweetie. Nice to see you. Awesome. Okay, I have not missed too much in the chat. Hopefully I'm not losing anybody by just yammering on about my silly thoughts and beliefs. Although Grandma Barb swears I need to start just talking like this on camera all the time. But I don't know. Now we're moving on to the tail. And again, I'm going to be here until I finish tonight. And if I go over Grandma's time, I apologize. It's probably getting pretty close to Grandma's time. And that's never my intention to run into her time. If you guys have to leave because of that, I understand. The people that are here that are grandma folk, please don't feel like you have to choose between us. But provided this continues to go well and I don't screw up, I'm going to be here until I finish this. So just letting you all know, I'll be here coloring this little cat. I think this is a pretty good orangey cat color, actually. I think I chose a good one. This was the one called Cream, but it's quite orangey for a cream. I think that's all the base color, except for the inside of the ears. I think that's all the base color of the cat. I'll put it over here to the side because if I need to touch something up later, I want to be able to grab it quickly. So I'm going to go straight in with Candy talks like I do. I do talk quite a bit, Helix. Not that I think you talk too much. I do enjoy the way you talk too. You're always whenever I see you live, you're always saying, "Oh, I'm always like, you're fine, you're fine." You're always saying, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry." I'm like, you don't have to apologize. You're just being yourself, and that's wonderful. And people are really gonna want to see that. I think so many of us have been told, yeah, don't be yourself. Like, oh, that's too much. Whether it's our families or well-intentioned people trying to tell us how to live in the world. And it makes us so worried that we're going to do one wrong thing and everybody's going to be pissed off. And it's like, no, I'm okay. It's okay to be ourselves. And if they don't like it, they can go. They can go. They don't have to stay. But I hope they do. I mean, I hope people like me, but if they don't, it's not my job to make them like me. It's my job to be myself. So I'm going in with this one is called the Coral Sands color, and I'm creating some brown stripes for this little kitty. Just some little stripage. My kitty, I don't know if I told you her name. I had an orange kitty many years ago. She died 5 years ago. Her name was Lulu. And we actually lost Lulu's sister in her biological sister, Hazel. We lost in June. That was Hazel and Lulu were our first babies when Joe and I first got together. And then we got Junie shortly after that, and we're down to just one cat, Junie and Mochi. And we love them dearly, but we do miss our Hazel and our Lulu. Lulu was a sweet girl. When we moved into this apartment, I feed the squirrels on my patio. I didn't feed them back then. She probably would have caught a squirrel, but she used to jump the fence. She was the only one that jumped the fence. Hazel and Junie had no interest in jumping the fence, but Lulu would jump the fence, even though she was the most timid. She was the most timid of all three, but she would jump the fence. And I'm grateful that I can let Junie out there and Mochi, and I know that they're safe, and Junie's not going to jump the fence and leave. She really has no desire. She has every ability to. She could jump the fence quite easily, but she doesn't. And I'm again super grateful for that. I would not want to lose her or run around town chasing her, but I do like her having the ability to be outside and look at, birds flying by and, just be outside and get some fresh air. That's nice. But I don't know, if you're into having an outdoor cat, I don't want to offend you or anything. I've seen some cats get hurt and hit, and we have hawks here and stuff, and I just, I know many do very well. I'm just going to fill in this edge here. I know many do very well being outdoor cats, but it's just not for me. There's actually a cat, an orange cat, that lives about a half a mile away, but we walk the whole neighborhood. I walk about 3 miles a day in our neighborhood, and with the dog, and his name is Jack, and he was actually he's the neighborhood cat, but he had a home and he was abandoned. And so now he basically, neighbors take turns letting him stay in their garage. Because he really loves the neighborhood, and we worry about what would happen if he was taken away from it. And I know it sounds weird, like, let's give him a home. I want to give him a home. I found out he was homeless right after we lost Hazel. And I thought, oh goodness, does this mean I'm getting another cat? But he's about 10 years old. He's not fixed. He's been an outdoor cat his whole life. And I'm sure he sprays. So he would have to be fixed. And I would have to wrestle with him every day to not claw through our new windows to get out, because I've heard that he claws through screens. And I don't know. Am I done with that? Yeah, I think I am. All right, the stripes are in. So Joe and I were heartbroken, but I was like, I don't think we can take this cat. Like, we rent, and they just replaced the screens, the windows and the patio. And I was like, if he tore those up, what would we do? So one of the people that lives closer to him, like I said, he's about a half a mile away, but we see him on a daily basis. One of the people that lives closer to where he originated from, to his original home that turned him out, basically what happened was that the wife in this home, she died, and she passed away suddenly, and the husband didn't want to keep all the animals, and he wanted nothing to do with Jack, so he wouldn't let Jack back in the house. And so everybody else started taking care of Jack. Everybody already took care of Jack anyway. Thank you, Helix. Everybody already took care of Jack anyway. So they continued to take care of him. So there's a woman, and her son and her children are going to build Jack a little outdoor house next to her house. They're going to build him a little little catio or a little cat cabin. And they have all the wood out there, and I guess the son is taking woodworking classes. That's a bit too light. So so they're going to build that together. We had a long chat with her the other day, and that was really nice to hear because I've been really worried about Jack. I want him to be okay. I just want the best for him. He's a real good boy. He needs a little suit and hat. He's like the mayor of the neighborhood. Everybody comes that walks through the neighborhood stops and talks to him. Everybody loves him. He's everybody's cat, but he won't leave like those 2 or 3 blocks. He stays right there. I'm trying to remember what color this was because I want that color for the hat. And he's a beautiful cat. He's lovely, but I had to realize I couldn't take him in, and I really wanted to because he's so lovely, but I had to consider the safety of my animals that I already have, and I had to consider our sanity and also his happiness. You know, I don't think he would be happy being made into an indoor cat in a 2-bedroom apartment, and not being able to run around anymore. So, sorry, I'm really struggling with the color that I should choose for this hat. Trying to remember what this one was. It's not milk tea, is it? No, not milk tea. Not raw cashew. Goodness. That was Coral Sands. Goodness gracious. Just pick one. I need like a brownish color. I want like a straw hat. What's this? Ash rose. It's not cherry taupe. That came later. I do have a good memory about these things. I do know that one was not swatched until later. Peachy blush. Sorry guys, bear with me. Khaki beige. It's not khaki beige. Cameo rose? Nope. Oh, see, this is where it would have really paid off to actually sit down and write all the colors down. Because I'm looking right at the perfect color, like on the swatch, but I just don't know which one it was. Well, you know what? We're gonna, just for the sake of time, not that one either. Just for the sake of time and not keeping you poor folks here all night, we're gonna move on. All right, give it up. We're gonna go, what did I say? We'll do ash rose. That's fine. Straw can be any color. We'll do ash rose. So we're gonna put in the hat. Oh, let's move this out of the way now. Oh, Erin, hi. Erin Walsh, the winner of the party potato. Hi, sweetie. Part of me would like to get a cat, but I hate the idea of outdoor cats, predator, cars, potential to not know what we. Sorry, predators, cars, potential to not know what happened, and we have a dog door. Plus, I was allergic last time I was around cats. Yeah, I know, and there I remember this about you, but you did well when you visited. I thought you seemed like, I don't know if you were taking medicine when you visited. I mean, we had all 3 back then, and you seemed okay. Maybe you could handle it. I don't know. Do you like cats? Have you been around cats very much? They're lovely. They really are, but they're so different from dogs. You know? So different. And yet, Junie is a lot like a dog herself. We kept saying, because we had her before Mochi, And we kept saying, we got to get her a dog. And she likes him a lot. She loves him, but he will sometimes, Mochi's not very rough. He's not a very rough dog. You know, he's kind of a little frou-frou dog, but he's not, he can get excited and he wants to chase her around and he kind of wants to roughhouse the way puppies do. And Junie hasn't roughhoused like that since she was a kid, you know? So she will kind of look at him like, I'm not into that, you crazy thing. But she will, you know, she's not mean to him. She doesn't swat at him or do anything bad to him. So that's nice. Well, this is going to be a dark straw hat. I wanted more of a traditional golden straw. But I wasn't going to make you guys sit here and watch me swatch every single one again until I got the right color. If I was doing this on my own and I wasn't live right now, I would absolutely do that. That's my perfectionism right there, right, guys? It's like, let's see. I don't know. Is it perfectionism? Is it attention to detail? Is it a little bit of both? Who's to say? So, like I think I said in my last live, I flipped my paint picture around all over the place just to get my brush. I'm using the brush tip to get my marker in exactly where I want it to be. I flip my thing all around, and I'm sorry if that's disorienting for you because you're watching me and you're watching it get filled in, but it might not be as soothing to watch if it's flipping around all over the place, but it's just easier for me to get those little nooks and crannies done. So I'm going to do another little layer here just to try to say that that's like the inner shadowy part of the brim. Let's see if that actually achieves what I want it to. If not, I'll have to come in later with some shading. We want this to be darker in here because it's underneath, right? So underneath the hat would be darker because it's the shadowy part. And the brim would be a little bit lighter, that part. All right, moving right along. That's a cute little hat, is it not? Let's put, oh, I think it would be cute to have, we're going to color the little band in there. Let's say, let's do pink pearl, this bright ass pink. Let's do this bright ass pink. Nice little pink ribbon. We're going to say this is my Lulu. This is my Lulu and her little flower. So we'll give her a nice pink ribbon. Not that boys can't wear pink. Boys can wear pink too, but we'll say she's a girl and she's got a little pink ribbon on her hat. Oh, let's do the inner ears. We need a pale color for that. Pale, pale, pale. What's lychee juice like? Lychee juice is quite peachy. I want something a little bit more pink. Slightly pink. What was ballet pink like? Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, we'll do ballet pink. Ballet pink for the inner ear. Lulu's ears and inner ear would get very pink. Very pink. It was like when she was more excited, they would kind of glow a brighter pink. It was interesting. This is interesting too because it's almost, to me, that looks very similar to the orange that I used earlier, but that is the main orange of her fur. But I'm going to probably, we'll see if I have time. I'm going to go in and outline all of this afterwards. So we'll put in some defining lines that differentiate some of those areas because it does kind of look all the same there. Okay, she's coming together. Let's see. Mason says some people, once they have an allergic reaction, they are fine from then on. Kind of like it's over with now. Ha ha ha. Yeah. Oh, sorry, Erin, I missed a bunch of what you said. Yes, I did. I was, but it was much better than I was worried it would be. Yeah, you seem to tolerate being with the three cats and Mochi a lot, like really well. Because we had Mochi at that point. Yeah, we did. I remember him trying to take some food from you at one point. I was like, oh gosh. I haven't really been around cats. We've always been more of a dog family. Yeah. Um, they're great. Cats are great. They're just different, like we we can't have like open glasses of water because they'll drink out of the water, they'll knock glasses over. They inadvertently knock glasses over because they just like walk around on the table and then their little tails or their little butts push something over. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I thought so too. The dark color kind of I think maybe works better with that orange too. I think you're right. I just wanted to make sure that it registered as a like straw farming hat than like a bowler hat or whatever, you know what I mean? But once her overalls are in, it's all going to come together. So we're going to do some overalls now. And we need like a blue for that. I think I like the cornflower blue. Yeah. We're going to do the cornflower blue for the overalls. Okay. You know what we're going to do though? Well, we'll do that later. Okay. Yeah, that's a good overall color. And once again, I'm outlining so I can see what the hell I'm doing. Outlining so I can see what the heck I'm doing. Sorry, I'm getting kind of quiet there. Ooh. I hope I'm not running out of things to talk about. What else could I talk about? Let's see. Cats are wonderful. So we have our Junie. And I might have already told this story before, so forgive me. But so when Joe and I first met, we were dating for 4 months. And at this point, we knew after a week of dating, and we were dating online. We were long distance. We were 2 hours away from each other. We knew that we were in love, and we knew that we had something really special. We knew that we were soulmates. And so it was pretty serious pretty quickly. And we've been together now 15 years. So it's the real deal. And it wasn't a flash in the pan. So we started dating, and unfortunately his dad got very aggressive liver cancer 4 months into our relationship. He got very, very ill, and it took him out very quickly. And he actually died. He passed, I think, somewhere between 2 or 4 days after our birthday. My husband and I have the same birthday, the same year, 12 hours apart, born on opposite sides of Massachusetts. So I will go in and do the cuffs in a minute, but I'm going to do them in a lighter color. So we tragically lost his dad. I didn't even really get to know him, but he was a lovely man. And I moved out from Boston to Western Massachusetts to help Joe out with his dad's home. He wasn't going to be able to keep the house, so we had to figure out, first of all, if he was going to be able to keep the house, and then we had to pack it all up and sell it, and all of that took about a year. So I moved in with him, and we inherited Robbie, who at the time was 16 years old. He was Jan's cat. He was Joe's dad's cat. Um, and Joe was actually, I think Joe was like 14 or something when he got Robbie. Maybe he was older. I can't really remember. That would track. 14 plus 16, that would be about 30, right? He was about 30 when we were about 30 when we met each other. So he we were 29. So we had Robbie, and Robbie was old, and he was an outdoor cat, and he was lovely, but he was not very affectionate. He wanted his food, and he didn't really care about if you were going to pet him or love on him very much, but he wanted to be let out every day. And you better let him out when he wanted to be let out. So Robbie was lovely, but he wasn't my cat, and he wasn't very affectionate. And I had come from living at my grandmother's, or my grandmother had passed, but I had lived with my grandmother and my aunt. So I had come from my aunt's house, and we had 2 dogs and a cat there. And I wasn't able to bring any of them with me. She wanted me to leave them all there. So sorry, just trying to pick a color here, and that's messing up my story. Yeah, that'll be good enough, I think, as the rolled up pant legs. So I moved in with Joe. I couldn't bring any of my pets with me that I shared with my aunt. And I said to him, I really, really want a dog. And he was not ready for a dog. Had never really had a dog. He had a dog once when he was a child, and the dog was really yappy, and he didn't think he liked dogs. And I said, well, can we get some more cat? Can I get another cat? And he was like, okay, I think I can do a cat. So I went on Craigslist, was still a thing at the time. I went on Craigslist, and I found a darling little orange kitty for free in Holyoke, Massachusetts, and was going to go pick her up. But they had 2 kittens in the picture. It was the orange kitty, who was a female, which is actually rare for orange cats to be female. It's less common. And then there was a tortoiseshell female as well. So I got there, and I'm going to move on to doing the pot now. So I got there, and there was only the 2 of them. There was two little kittens, and I couldn't separate them. They were sisters, and I couldn't separate them. So I got them both. I took them both home. And I can't remember. I don't know if Joe remembers. He's not here right now. I can't remember if I had decided before I went to pick them up that I was going to take both, or if I had told him and told myself that I was only getting the one, and then ended up bringing home the 2. I think I had decided beforehand that I was going to bring home both, because I don't remember having to break the news to Joe. Like, I wasn't like, okay, hear me out. I know I said 1, but here's 2. But he was in love with them immediately. We were absolutely in love with them. We were in his father's house, and there was a big bathroom upstairs. And so we just made that bathroom like their little sequestered space where they could be safe from everything. And they were just in there. And so Joe came home from work, and we went in there and played with them, and he was in love with them, and we named them. And it was weird because we named them Hazel and Lulu. And I had never even thought of the name Hazel. The name Hazel wasn't even a name that, like, when I was a little girl and I named my dolls and stuff, it wasn't like I was naming dolls Hazel. It wasn't a name that I heard very often. Now it's much more popular name. Hazel's being used a lot. I meet a lot of dogs named Hazel. But it wasn't a very popular name back then. And I don't know how it popped into my head, but I was just like, you're Hazel. It was like she told me her name almost, in a way. And Lulu, we came up with that name. I'm not sure, this is kind of a fringe movie, but there's a movie called Fifth Element, and there's a character in it with like bright orange hair, and I think her name is like Lilu or something like that. And so we called her that after that character, which is interesting because we weren't even, I mean, I liked that movie, but I wasn't like the biggest fan ever of that movie that I should name my cat after her. But and obviously we didn't call her Lilu. We were like, what about Lilu? And then we were like, no, what about Lulu? And then we used to call them, Mason's gonna like this, we used to call them our little Southern belles. So we would do a little Southern accent for them whenever we did their voices, because we do, my husband and I do our pets' voices. So whenever we did their voices, we would do little Southern belle, like, well, Daddy, I just don't know. I do declare, Daddy, I think we should have another treat. And that's don't hate me, Mason. That was our little Southern belle accent for the babies. You know what? I was gonna try to stick exclusively to my new pastels for this, but I want the dirt color to be a proper dirt color, and I don't really have a dark brown that's gonna work. The dark brown that would have worked would have been this pot color that was the darkest brown I had. So I'm gonna go grab my other set so I can, I don't know, my nose is running too. I'm gonna wipe my nose while I'm here, guys. So anyway, TMI. So I brought home these two little baby kittens, and they were just the light of our lives. And Robbie, it was funny because Hazel was a classic tortie. Classic tortie in that she was just like, she wanted everything her own way. And she was a bit of a bitch. She was a bit of a bitch. But we loved her. She was our bitch. Classic tortie. And she was, 8 weeks old. We bring her home. It's very clearly Robbie's house, and she is bristling, and her hackles are going up, and she's going, "Rrr, rrr." That's how she would growl as a little tiny kitten. "Rrr, rrr." And Robbie's just looking at her like, who the hell are you? And then he went and walked to the door, and he was like, outside, please. And he went to hang out with his friends. Robbie had all kinds of neighborhood friends. There was Bruce, the big fat cat that lived across the street. And then all of Robbie's friends came by to come see Robbie, and they saw these two little Southern belle kittens in the window. And they were fixed, but the boy cats in the neighborhood were still awfully interested. I remember one day watching the girls looking out the window and then seeing that there was 3 cats looking up at them. I'm like, holy crud, there's a whole conflagration. There's a whole congregation of kitties out here admiring our little girls. And they were sweet. They were sweet as can be. We used to have stairs and upstairs and downstairs in that house. And we used to say they ran up and down the stairs like the Brady kids from the Brady Bunch. Very, very cute. Okay. I don't think I'm going to need more of that. So I'm just going to put these to the side again. I'm going to zip them up because I'm losing space on this table. And if they fall over, what a sad day if they fall over and I have to pick up a scattering of 48 different markers. Hey, that would be rough. Okay, we're moving right along here. She did have that hazzle dazzle. She sure did, my poor sweet girl. She, she had, and the thing is she had cancer. We lost her in June, but she had her spark up until the very end, like until the very, very end. She did not lose her spark at all. She was sassy. She was a queen the whole time. She was a queen the whole time. She never lost that. And I'm very grateful for that because she, we said as long as we can keep her happy, and as long as her quality of life hasn't suffered too much, we'll we'll keep this going, you know. And it's always, you know, not to get sad again. I feel like I've talked about a few sad things tonight, but not to get all sad again, but it's always a hard, really hard thing to be like, is it time? And you always, I feel like you always second guess it. I've had to do it a few times now. And each time, you know, the first time Lulu was having seizures and she really just wasn't herself anymore. Um, but Hazel, you know, there was just this, I knew it was time, but there was still that feeling of like, is it actually time? And it's so hard. It's so hard to have that responsibility, you know, to be the one to say, okay, it's time. There's no more suffering here. You know, it's time to say goodbye. And it never gets easier. But I think ultimately we did the right thing. I know we did. She was not herself anymore at that point. But anywho, so now I'm going on and I'm coloring this little bud, and I'm going to try to avoid the mouth because I want to give him an open mouth that has like a little red tongue in it. And if I put the green in, the red won't show up as his tongue. So let's see if I can reserve that space well enough. So again, this was I don't know that she's still listening. She's probably doing other things, but she was here earlier. This was an idea from my friend Patty, and I will be sure to send her a picture of this if she's not still watching, so she can see that she inspired me to create this. I'm going to pull the red out from this one to do the little tongue. She inspired me to make this little drawing. She gave me the pun because he's holding this plant and he's saying, "You're my best bud," because it's a little budding flower. And I thought that was just the cutest idea ever. So all right, there's the little mouth and the bottom part. I had to go back into the other set to get a regular red and the regular black. Oh, and you know what I should have done too is I should have reserved the nose here because I was going to make her nose pink, but maybe I just won't. Or maybe I'll make it a dark pink. We'll see. We'll see. We're not there yet. We'll see when we get there. What should we do for the flower? Maybe one of these lilac colors. Rosy lilac sounds nice. Oh yeah, rosy lilac. Let's do rosy lilac for the bud. Oh yeah. That's pretty. That's really pretty. Says we've got 10 in here now. Thank you everybody for hanging out with me. So glad to have you. I've just been yammering on, and earlier I was swatching these beautiful Ohuhu, great name, Ohuhu pastel markers, alcohol ink markers, and now I'm coloring in a drawing that I made to especially for these markers. So hi Terry, nice to see you. Are you Terry from Grandma's chat, or is this someone else? I don't know if like names come up differently in my chat than in others, because I know there's someone else that comes in from Grandma's chat and his name appears different, Mike's name. But if you're a different Terry, either way, you're welcome. Welcome. Let's see. Cats have their own posse. Always number one gangster. That's true. That's true, Mason. Okay. Also, let me know, guys, do you feel like, for those of you that come into Grandma Barb's chat, do you guys feel like Nightbot is coming up too much? let me know honestly. Okay, hi Terry. Let me know honestly if you feel like the Nightbot is coming up too much. Hi Emily. Thank you so much. Oh, it's okay. That's all right. So what am I doing? All right, yeah, I was asking if Nightbot is coming up too much. I've noticed he's coming up quite a bit, but I also think the chat's not super active, so maybe it just seems to me that he's coming up a lot, but he's just coming up when he should. I think I set it to like 15 minutes or so. Okay, and my sound is still good for everybody. I'm still checking in with that because last time I guess it was way low, but my husband had turned down the mic quite a bit because he has a much bassier voice. So he had to check himself with that. Okay. I think we're gonna start lining now. Start lining this with my favorite Faber-Castell F Pit pen. I don't know why this is my favorite. It hasn't run out yet, and I just love it. What do we want to do? Let's put in the nose first. Let's do the nose first. I had said I wanted the nose to be pink, but I don't think we're going to get a good pink over the orange because I already did that. One option would be to see if I could. Okay. What I'll do is I'll save the nose for the end because I want to do it. I'm going to go in and do a pink nose, but I'm going to do it with an acrylic paint pen. If I do it now and then I start lining and the paint pen doesn't dry and I rub it, I will rub the paint all over the face. So I'm going to line first and then I will do the nose last with the rosy cheeks. So let's start lining this. I don't know. I like lining. Sometimes I know a lot of people don't like a black outline. I think it brings things together. And I quite like it. But sometimes I wonder if it would just be fine without it. But then it looks a little bit naked to me, so I guess that's just my preference. I think it's more of a preference thing, and I think my preference is that I like it lined. And then I overthink it and I'm just like, oh, but do other people like it lined? And it's that same old thing of just make the art that you like, and the people who like it are gonna like it. You can't please everybody. You sure as shit. Sorry, that's some language there, but you sure as shit can't please everyone, guys. You really can't. You really can't. You shouldn't even try. So I'm going to please myself here, and I'm going to make an outline. Sorry, I realized that sounded bad. I was like, I'm gonna please myself here. Little bit suggestive there. Anyway, we're keeping it PG. Okay. I don't want to jinx it by saying this, but I've been becoming a little bit more confident with my lining work. But, you know, the second you say that, you cough or you sneeze or you fart and the pen flies across the page. So maybe I don't get cocky. Maybe I don't get cocky and say that I'm getting better at this. Although I have found that part of quote unquote getting better at it is just not giving a crap if you're good at it or not, and not worrying about if it's perfect. Letting it be wonky. I'm just saying, okay, that's my wonky business, guys. That's my wonky business. Well, I really love this color for the cap, but I don't think that's cream at all. I don't think that's a cream color at all. You know, I would be a little concerned if my cream was that orange, I think, but maybe I just didn't grow up on a farm and cream can be that orange and I'm being closed-minded about it. I've certainly never seen cream come straight out of the cow. So, you know, maybe I just don't know what I'm talking about. That's that's usually true. My husband would say that's not true at all. That's not true at all. He's the sweetest. He always said if I'm ever talking bad about myself, which I try not to do very much these days. I'm all about the self-love, but if I'm ever getting down on myself, he says, "Don't say that about my wife. Don't say that about my wife. I love her. She's wonderful." And I'm like, "Yep, I'll keep you. I'll keep you. You're a good one." Good guy. It's a good guy. Let's look at the chat real quick. You're fine. Lining looks good too. Thank you. Let's see. Oh, I didn't go back far enough. This color palette is fabulous. I think the black just makes it bolder. Yes, thank you, Emily. I think so. I think so too. I think it just makes it stand out better, especially for you guys like watching. It just kind of pulls it all in together. Um, so thank you for that. Helix was laughing. Terry said lining is satisfying. Sorry, I didn't go back far enough. John says, I'm loving the soothing pastel colors and smooth lines. Awesome. Thank you. Okay. So Terry says, Terry, you're saying my sound is still quiet. So I don't know if I'm still too quiet, guys. I will check in with that later. If I am, I apologize. My voice doesn't sound cocky. I see. Okay. I do. I do sort of, well, I try not to sound too loud. I made a collage project at work and I had to line over and I was humbled by how hard it was to make smooth line. It is hard. And I'm not as good at it as I wish I was, but I get better at it. You have to practice a lot and it's one of those things that's I shied away from it for a long time because I was like, yikes, yikes, that can ruin the whole painting, the whole drawing at the end. If not, the cat is like the coffee color that Nana would make me in sippy cups. Yes. Yes, Emily. My sister Emily is the Emily in the chat, and she was in love with coffee when she was little. Emily is 11 years younger than me, so I was making bottles and changing diapers and whatnot. She was my little baby. But she loved coffee, and we would have to give her milky, sugary coffee on a regular basis because she would not rest until she had it. So she's talking about my Nana, our grandma, our dearly departed Nana Betty, who used to make her milky, sweet cups of coffee so that she could be bouncing off the walls. She never was that hyperactive though, and that was great. Not at all, just cream. Your husband sounds adorable. Thank you, Helix. He really is, and he's the light of my life. He's the best. I couldn't ask for anything better. I wouldn't want to do this crazy existence with anybody else. And I always say if he ever goes anywhere without me, I mean, like, you know, in the terms of like passing, you know, on, I'm going back and getting him. I'm like, we're not done yet. Get back here. I'll go into the afterlife and grab you back. Emily, does the cat have a name? She kind of looks like my Lulu that passed away 5 years ago. So I think I'm calling her Lulu, my orange kitty. And oh, thank you, Mason. Maybe I should. I've often thought about that, about audiobooks and like voice acting, you know. But actually, let me get a sip of water because I'm starting to get a little raspy, a little bit raspy there. Yes, Mason. She was a perfect Nana. She She knew just how to indulge and just how to treat. You know, she gave us all the treats. She was a nice lady. I miss her a lot. But it's been a long time. It's like something like 26 years, I think, since she died. She died when I was 18. I'm 44. Am I doing that math right? I was thinking of that the other day and I was just like, wow. It's wild when you get to that point when you're like, wow, I've lived longer without her than I lived with her, you know? It's not to get all sad or anything, but it does sort of wow, you know? um but she was a great lady. She loved Elvis and Frank Sinatra and all the old movies. She would record old movies. She had all the movie stations and she would record all the old movies. I've got a new movie for you. We have to watch this tonight. We have to watch this. She just loved the pictures. She was born in 1930 in Panama. And she came to America when she was 14. And my great-grandmother, Ita, her mother, was born in 1901 in Panama. And she saw the first ship go through the Panama Canal. And then she emigrated to the U.S. And then she sent for her daughter, and they my grandmother lived in a she was like a mother's helper. She lived in a fancy rich folks home in Newton, Massachusetts. And she helped take care of their kids, and in return she got to go to a very, very nice all-girls Catholic school and get a nice education, and it was a nice trade-off for her. And her mother, my grandmother, worked in another home, and they would see each other often, but that was how they made their way in this country. Lots of history. Lots of beautiful history and beautiful memories. Well, okay. Almost done with the lining here, I think. Almost done here. This is where I get picky. That ear is not exactly like that one, but you know what? Whatever. Maybe the kitty's ear is smushed through the hole. Maybe the kitty's ear is smushed through the hole, and that's the way it came out, you know? That's how it works. Putting a little bumpy texture in the soil, so we're saying that some soil is in there. So last Sunday, I taught a painting to some friends and family on Zoom. And I had so much fun doing it, but I was very close to, as I explained at the beginning of the stream, I needed some time off. And so I took this week off, but I was getting very close to burnout, and I was having a lot of fun teaching them, but I was just exhausted by the end of it. And it ended up going for, I picked a painting that was a little too complicated, and it ended up going for like 3.5 hours. And by the end of the painting, I just could not describe, I could not, physically could not describe how to mix any colors anymore. You know, I had been for 3 hours describing, and now we mix this orange, and now we mix this blue, and now we mix this red. We did a beautiful scene of an autumn tree that looks like it's cradling the moon, and some pumpkins. It was very pretty, but it was bit off too much, more than we could chew for some amateur paint night. And I just got to a point where I was like, there are a few YouTube artists that I have taught me and who I really love, and it just gave me a newfound respect for them, because one of them was Cinnamon Cooney, who has passed away actually last December suddenly, and devastated all of us who were fans of hers, and just still can't believe she's gone. But she would go live every Saturday and teach for like 2 to 3 to sometimes 4 hours. She would do a painting, and it just gave me such a newfound respect for her, because I was like, my gosh, I literally could not, like, my mouth just would not form the words, mix this. I could not, like, I was looking at the colors and I was like, no, mix this brown, no, not that brown, this brown, and I could not. I completely flubbed, and we got there in the end, but I was like so tired. So I was like, if I continue to teach, I only have really taught friends and family. If I continue to do that and open it up to other people, I'm going to have to figure out some paintings that are a lot simpler, or that we do in parts. So maybe like a 2-part lesson. So we do 2 hours and then get together the following Sunday and do the next 2 hours, and finish it up then. Because I hit my limit, and I hit my limit like a brick wall, my friends, like a brick wall. It was just like, bap, right there. And let me catch up with the chat real quick, and then I'll put in this lettering and the face, and we will be done with this for tonight. And yeah, I did go over into Barb's time, so I appreciate all of you that are still here that usually go to Barb's chat. I hate to run into Grandma Barb's time, but I said I would be here for as long as it took, and this is as long as it's taking. Okay, so all right, everyone's saying hi to each other. Lulu, rest in peace. Thank you, Mason. Carnivore Helix says, I'm craving to be held and date and stuff. I know I need to find myself in love with God while God loves me first. I know that's what he is telling me. Then that way I can have an adorable hubby. It's true, Helix. You have to. I wish I had known this when I met Joe. I didn't love myself enough, and he didn't love himself enough. And luckily we could love each other through that. But I think it's so important. And I think a lot of marriages fail because people don't love themselves as much as they love the other person. And you have to love yourself. And part of that is knowing that God loves you and loving God. So that relationship is with God, and that relationship with yourself is so important. Terry Sue said, God puts people in our lives right on time. He sure does. Carnivore Helix says, there was a channel back in the early 2000s that would play black and white movies a lot, or early color movies. I remember Audrey Hepburn being on that channel a lot. Fave was, I think, Pink. Ah, yes. Audrey Hepburn movies are great. You might be thinking of like Turner Movie Classics. That might be the station you were talking about. I remember that, and I used to watch it all the time because it reminded me of my Nana, and I loved all of those. Lovely. You guys are beautiful. I'm just reading all the comments about the conversation around Helix and the Bible and everything. That's lovely. Oh, buttered popcorn, Terry, is a weakness for me. We do as much as we do low carb in this house, we do still have buttered popcorn with a little drizzle of honey every week on Friday night. That's part of our date night. And yep, we're going full carnivore in um, January and we're going to try to do for 3 months, but we're doing 3 months at a time, and we're going to be giving up our popcorn for that time, but we still do it. And yeah, oh, popcorn is it's such a deal breaker for me. I love that smell so much. Oh, thank you, Mason, for saying I'm a teacher. I do like to guide, I guess. I do like to help. Still watching football with the husband. I think that is the channel. Yeah, I think it might have been Turner Movie Classics. I remember Turner Movie Classics. Alrighty, we're gonna letter this. So we're writing, "You're my best bud." You know what's so funny, guys, is like I go live and it's not like, don't get me wrong, I'm not, this isn't fancy. I'm just in my studio in my second bedroom. It's not like I feel like anything different should happen, but after I do this, after being on live and talking to people for like 2 hours, it's weird to go back to like mundane life or just like what I would normally be doing. So like I have laundry going right now. I have to go check the laundry when I'm done here. And like stuff like that, but it always feels so weird after doing this to like just go back and just not be talking out loud by myself, because I'm very obviously talking to you guys and I'm checking the chat and you're responding to me. I wouldn't be talking out loud, I don't think, if nobody was here. I would probably have just shut down and not done it. I know there are some people that go on and they will just either talk and just do it anyway, or they'll just be quiet and draw. I just think I probably wouldn't have stuck around if no one showed up. And I've been very blessed that each time I've come on, this is my fourth one, my fourth live, every time I've had people come. And I feel so unbelievably grateful for that, guys. Thank you so much. But I always have this moment when I'm done where I'm just like, oh, right. So now I just stop talking and I go do the laundry and I clean the bathroom and, or whatever else it is I have to do tonight. Like when I'm done here, I will go check the laundry and I'll probably massage my hand for a bit. It's getting a little cramped from all the drawing and lettering, and then I'll do some little bit of video editing actually tonight, and then maybe hopefully some crochet. I have to get some more crocheting in. I have to find that balance between video editing and everything else that I'm doing. But I talked about that at the beginning of the stream, where I was like, I don't know if I got too much into it, but I realized during my little break this week that I love making my videos and I love connecting with you guys. I love the community that we're building here, and I do love making videos, but I never set out to be a content creator. My goal is really to be an artist and to figure out how to make a living wage with my art. And I got really excited about YouTube, and I started putting more and more effort into YouTube. And I know that YouTube, you can monetize and you can get some money coming in, but that takes a lot. It takes a lot. And then you have to keep those watch hours and you have to keep that going. And it just becomes more, it snowballs. It becomes more and more. And I'm not saying it's not worth doing, but it's not what I set out to do. And I'm finding that I don't have enough time to even paint. And every time I'm sitting down to make art, I'm thinking, I should have the camera rolling and making content out of this. And your whole life starts to become, what can I make content out of? What can I record today? have I done enough editing? When is this video going to be out? What are my watch hours? What are my numbers? And you know, last week I took some time and I drew just to draw because I wanted to draw. Not And I crocheted just because I wanted to crochet, you know? Not because I was going to be recording it, not because anybody was going to watch it or tell me, "Ooh, good job," or be all excited about it, just because I wanted to do it. And it was so beautiful. It was so necessary, and it really was a lot of thinking that needed to be done. And, you know, do I have any idea what I'm doing? Did I get any real clarity? The only real clarity I got was that I need to be making more art that isn't just about content. And I need to be focusing on figuring out how to get my art in front of more people that would be interested in buying it, and figuring out how to make it more accessible to people. So maybe offering originals, but also offering prints, which would be, you know, more affordable than an original. An original might go for hundreds of dollars, where a print you could get for as low as $20. But all of that is work that I haven't been doing because I've been making videos. I haven't been concentrating on, you know, making a website and figuring out prints and figuring out a business plan for actually selling art because I got wrapped up in YouTube. So I had to rethink some things, and that's what I'm doing now. Okay, we're going to take out the white pen. He's going to need some white highlights in his eyes, the little plant. And then we're going to go in. I said I would go in with this pink and make the little nosy. My Lulu had a sweet little pink nose, and over the years it got little black freckles on it. It was really cute. We used to say Hazel was rubbing off on her because Hazel was like a mostly black tortie, but she had some of Lulu coloring, and she had all kinds of like beige. She had every color. She was gorgeous. So we would say Lulu was rubbing off on her. So that's fun. I think that actually came out quite nice. If you can see, the little pink came in for the nose. He's going to get some cheeks as well, but I want to put the face in first before I do that. Little curvy mouth, little curvy. I like to call these the upside down U eyes. Oops, that one smudged a little bit. Oh well, no big deal. No big deal. All right, little eyes. We will outline the nose. Okay. Looking good, looking good. I think, should I just do, should the cheeks just be the same color? That's interesting. I thought I had a lighter pink for this marker, but I guess this is it. I think we're just going to do the cheeks are going to be the same color. So we're going to do a little circle here. I don't usually do an outline on the circle. That's just a little blush. Do some little blushy cheeks there. And this is my number 10. Number 10, Sakura Jelly Roll white gel pen. And we're going to go in and make a few little dots in the eyes for white highlights. And then we're doing the fun part. I mean, it's all the fun part, but we're going to actually add a few highlights with the white pen. So we're going to say maybe some light is hitting up here. And then the brim of the hat. Brim of the hat here. Just to say that tell the little story that where the light is hitting, right? So the light is hitting, if it's darker down here, right there is going to be lighter. So we got a little bit of light hitting there to say, you know, maybe that's where the sun is hitting. A little bit right on the end of the ears, a little bit on the end of the tail, just wherever, maybe right there on the shoulder a bit, upper arm, just to say, you know, there's some stuff happening here. Just breaks it up a little bit, makes it a little bit more interesting. The top of the pot should get some highlights. And yep. We'll do a little bit on the petals. That also, you know, tells us about the texture too. If the petals are usually kind of like waxy or, you know, fleshy. And so if we put a little bit of this white on there, it's going to tell us that it's shiny and pretty. One more thing I want to do is this cat has the little overalls. That's the word. I'm going to put little buttons here, little yellow buttons. For the overalls. And I don't think I'm missing anything here. No, I think we're done. It says we got 10 still in here. And that is amazing to me. Thank you guys so much. This has been a long one. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Yeah, I think that is just about finished. I'm going to sign it. I think I'm just going to sign it in black. I'm going to do, my signature is a heart and a C. And I will hold this up so that you guys can see in just a minute. I am a little bit anal retentive about cleaning up. I used to be a much more disorganized person. And then I started forcing myself to clean up properly. And now it helps me create art a lot better if I do that. All right, guys, here she is. This is Lulu. I always say he. Every time I make a little character, I always call it he, and I don't know why. So I wanted to make a point of making one that I called female. We're going to call her Lulu after my dearly departed sweet girl. And let's see, there we are. I think that's a pretty good view. Yeah, there you go. There's Lulu, the gardening cat, hugging a potted plant that is about to bloom. It's about to burst open. And she's saying, "You're my best bud." So thank you again to Patty Myers for the idea for this. I really love how it came out. I think it's so cute. Maybe I'll send it to Patty or send her a copy of it or something because it's really sweet. I like it a lot. Oh, you know what? Oh, there's always something, guys. I'm going to do a little tiny bit of highlight on the nose. There we go. We need a little highlight on the nose. All right, that's it. That's it. That's enough. I could piddle this to death. Like I'm going to come in here and outline the buttons. And that's truly it. That's the end of that. No, not yet. Little shine on the buttons. Little shine on little shine on the buttons, and then we're absolutely done, and I will say goodnight. All right, little shine on the buttons because the buttons are shiny. We need to put a little shine on the button. Little white highlight on the button. Okay, there we go. There's our kitty cat. There's our second Ohuhu unboxing. I don't think there will be a third, guys. I have to reel it in. I can't buy any more of these markers right now. And But there might be other unboxings for other stuff. There's going to be other lives. I will figure out other lives for the future. I don't have many ideas right now, but I'm sure I'll figure out things to draw and play with. I've been wanting to pull out my watercolors again sometime soon. So, yeah, I think I think that's about it. So there's our Lulu, and we can go back to there I am. There I So I want to thank you guys so much for being here with me tonight. Oh, wait, before I do that, let me make sure I didn't miss anything in the chat. Goodness gracious. Don't just say goodnight without reading everything, Candy. Um ooh, I missed a lot. Hang on. Missed a lot. Here we go. Does popcorn mean I'm having a date night? If you want it to, Terry, if you want it to. Um, get my email from Barb. Okay, I will. Mason. Um, I'm on a continuing date for 20 years. I'm too old. Let's see. Mike says I haven't dated in 14 or 15 years. That I don't know. I don't think I could date again. I hope that I'm never in a position where I have to even consider that. But I don't think I could do it anymore, guys. I don't know that I could. Um, Terry, Candy, just keep doing what you do. The future is something we don't know, but you can totally tell it's changing. Yes, Terry, thank you. Emily said, so happy the time away was so restorative, Candy. Terry says, that's so adorable, Candy. Thank you, Terry. This turned out so great as always. Thank you for sharing this with all of us. Thank you, Emily. Cute picture, Candy. Thank you, Mike. Beautiful. Thank you, says Mason. It's beautiful, Candy, says Terry. You did a great job. Thank you. Mason says Lulu is a true belle, which is high praise. Patty Myers. I thought I recognized that kitty. Patty. This was all you, buddy. This was your idea, Patty. I decided I don't know if you heard all of it, but I decided to do a kitty because you don't get to have kitties anymore, and you gave me this idea for the kitty. All right, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me for over 2 hours tonight, making this beautiful picture. I had so much fun. I hope you had fun. I hope you had a chance to relax, and I hope that you'll come back and see me again real soon. Take care. Bye.